Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It is me, Michelle. So today I am going to show you guys my book planner that I have. So with my book planner, what I do is after I read books, I take notes on the books I read to kind of remember some stuff that happened because I read a lot. So the book that I just got in reading was actually pretty long. It's called East of Eden, and it is a fascinating book. It's by John Steinbeck. He also wrote Of Mice and Men, which is another really good book. I'm going to probably reread that book this year, but this book was much bigger than Of Mice and Men. So first I'm just going to give you a quick show you kind of like how I have my planner set up. So I guess it's like a wrong cover. I just have it on some black disc. So I have like a list of books that I want to read. And so I think I've read other books that are not books that's actually on here. So here in this first one, you'll see I have notes for Art of War, The Game of Life and How to Play It, 1 Minute Salesman, Beloved, Animal Farm, the 80-20 Principle, The Hunter of the Dark. So now we are on East of Eden. So I'm going to be using this book here first. This is the LOL book, and I'm using it for the letters that's in this book. I hope I have enough of, it shouldn't be a problem. So I'm going to put these letters down, if I can get them to cooperate. There we go. So this book was actually a very fascinating book. If you like to read, I would suggest reading it. The beginning starts off a little slow because he goes into all of a bunch of detail of how the valley and stuff is. It takes place in Salinas Valley, which Of Mice and Men also takes place in Salinas Valley. And John Steinbeck actually grew up in Salinas Valley, so I think that's why it's so why he uses that scenery so much and has like such a, I mean the amount of description he gives for the scenery is amazing. So you could tell he really enjoyed the scenery of where he grew up at in the Salinas Valley. But the first chapter does start off really slow, so it can be off-putting if you don't read a lot, or if when you read you like quicker books, or you like books that start off with like a lot of action and a lot of dun 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 or something like that. I think it's like one of the best literary novels ever written, just because it seems like John Steinbeck just took so much time to write East of Eden. Like, he really took his time to write this book, to really make you feel the characters. It's supposed to be like in a third person with a narrator, but you can really get into the characters. Like, you can start reading a book and you'll understand the characters. You'll start to like feel like it's the characters giving you all the information. So because of that, I would think it's more like third person omniscient, because it just feels like you're there when you are reading the book. So in that instance, it's like a very amazing book. I really enjoyed that part of it. So I don't want to use this black and white. Let's find something with some color. I'll look what this LOL book has. So there is there's like a lot of characters in the book. I think I gave some of these away. So I'm going to use my LOL stickers here to like put for the information that I'm going to write down. And this book is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to like get through all of the stuff that you learn from this book, but I am definitely going to try in this video. So this is kind of going to be like a book review too, like all in one. Ta-da! Life is but a dream. So let me put a little bit more space between this one, because I don't want it to be too crowded, but I want to make sure I have enough space to put down all of the information that I want to put. Okay, so I've put down all of these for this. Let me put these books up. So let's see. I'm going to use this. This is a Pinto inner gel pen. I got it from the Dollar Tree. It actually, no, Dollar Tree, or I think Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Got it from Dollar General. So one of the themes of Easter Eden is intergenerational, because it follows two families. One is the Trask family, which goes through 3 generations, and the Hamilton family, which goes through 2 generations. So it does have that theme to it. Another one of the themes is good and evil. Like some of the characters, like, so when I say good and evil, some of the, like, one character is just evil. Some of the characters, like, they're not necessarily evil, but they are not as good as the good characters. I guess that's kind of what we can say. So it's good of it's also good and evil. One of the things that is harped on is timshel, which is a Hebrew word for thou mayest. And so it kind of like you have a right to choose between the path that you want to take. So with the good and evil thing, it comes from the Cain and Abel story in the Bible. So one of the characters, so I'm going to write some characters. One of the characters is Cyrus Trask, which is the father of Adam and Charles. Adam's mom wind up, I think she killed herself, and then Cyrus got remarried, and him and his wife had Charles. And Cyrus, I don't think, it seemed like he favored Adam. I don't think he necessarily favored Adam just because. I think it was more because his mother had killed herself, and so he kind of was trying to protect him. That's kind of what I got when I was reading the story. But Charles, the youngest son, was very mean and aggressive, and he tried to kill Adam at one point in the story, which, as you know, in Cain and Abel, Cain kills Abel, and God says your brother's blood is, you know, crying out from the ground. Cain is able to have children and have a family. Abel does not have a family, which is going to be very important when I explain kind of the rest of it. So then Adam has 2 sons, and they're twins. One is Cal, one is Aaron. So this is important because Adam marries an evil woman. No, she really is evil. She kills her parents by fire, and then she like gets beat up by her pimp. And she comes on Adam and Charles's porch because Adam goes to war, and when he comes back, him and his brother Charles are trying to reconcile, but Adam is like immediately smitten with Kathy, and he has like a view of her like she's good and she's a nice woman and all this other stuff, but she's not. And Charles sees right through her from the beginning. And so it causes a rift between Adam and Charles. The interesting thing is Charles sleeps with her right before her and Adam leaves. And then when her and Adam leaves, because their father made them wealthy by investment, so they don't really not sure how their dad did that. So it's a question if Cal and Aaron are actually Adam's sons. Which, and this is the interesting part, you can have twins, because she winds up shooting Adam and then going and run a whorehouse. She kills the woman who runs the whorehouse, even though the woman loved her and treated like her daughter. She kills her and takes over. Like, when I tell you she's evil, she's really evil. So she kills her. So it's a question if Cal and Aaron are Charles. So when they're first born, Adam even says they kind of look like Charles, which is amazing. But again, you can have twins and the twins not be have the same father, because it kind of talks about how they look alike, but there was a slight difference. Like, you could tell the difference between them. So it makes me wonder if Aaron, because Aaron was a good kid, Aaron wanted to become a priest at one point, and he had a girlfriend named Avra, and he loved Avra, and he had kind of the same infatuation with Avra that Adam had with Kathy. So at this point, they think their mother's dead. Cal actually finds out that their mother isn't dead. He goes to see her, and it makes a point to say when he goes to see her, because he laughs at her and was like, oh yeah, you know, I'm glad you, basically, like, he was kind of happy that she left because she's the owner of a brothel and she's a prostitute. So he has like, everybody kind of sees him as evil, and everybody loves Aaron because Aaron is like happier, more down to earth, listens more. Cal is more like how his Uncle Charles was. But she made a point to say that when she looked at him, she thought of Charles. And when Charles died, he left half his money to Adam and half his money to Adam's wife, Kathy. And which I also thought was amazing too. But anyway, so Cal ends up going to see her. She does make the distinction that she sees Charles in Cal when she sees him. Adam also makes that same statement as well. They do have, Adam and Charles have the same father, but they have different mothers. So that could be another point as well. Anyway, so Aaron grows up to be the good one, and he's in love with Avra, and he thinks Avra is this wonderful person. Avra is not like his mother, who's bad. But then Aaron, Kyle gets mad at Aaron and wind up telling Aaron about their mother. Aaron goes to visit their mother, and he is just such a heavy burden on him that his mother is a prostitute and a whore and all this other stuff. And so he winds up leaving and going to war. He was already in college at this point, but he leaves and goes to war, and he winds up dying. But and it wasn't far after Cal kind of like got mad and told him about their mom. So it's now Cal is kind of like sad because he feels like he drove his brother to war, and his brother was murdered on the battlefield because he shouldn't have told him about the mom, because the brother was so upset that his mom was a prostitute because of who he was, and he felt like, how can he have that kind of blood in his DNA? And Adam really is a good man, and he's trying his hardest to raise his kids, to do all these things. He has Chinese helper named Lee, who's actually very intelligent, very philosophical in this book, and he has a friend named Sam Hamilton, who's the other second generation of Hamiltons, who's a really good man, and he's really like, he has a lot of wisdom. And I think sometimes we confuse, like, we look at people who are really smart and they may not have wisdom, and Lee kind of had both, and so did Samuel Hamilton. But Samuel Hamilton was more wise than he was like what you would consider smart. They both kind of like helped Adam, especially Lee with the kids, because they kids really respected Lee. So, and Samuel did too, because he knew that Lee was not speaking proper English, because that's what the white people wanted him to do, like, oh, me Chinese. And instead, so when Samuel like, I don't believe you, I believe your English is fine. And then Lee kind of inspects his face, and he realized that Samuel sees him as a person, as a human being, and not just a caricature of a human being, which is going to digress from that part. Anyway, so, and Samuel Hamilton is also Irish. So and that could be another reason why he understands Lee, because Irish people may not have been treated the best during that time either. I'm digressing because I don't want this video to be super long. I'm just trying to give a background of kind of how everything goes. So, so after that, so Avra, when Aaron runs off, Avra winds up with Cal, Aaron's brother, even though Aaron and Avra was in a relationship for a long time and were going to get married at one point. And it amazes me, going back to the Cain and Abel story, that, you know, Charles tried to kill Adam at one point, and then Abel died, no children. Cain had a family. Adam dies, like towards the end, he dies of old age, plus hearing about his son dying wasn't really helping him. Oh, he did lose a lot of his money because he had a really bad idea. Will Hamilton tried to tell him don't do it, and it didn't work out. So Cal goes in business with Will, but Cal is very intelligent as well. But they say Charles was kind of smart too. But Cal is very intelligent. His mother, Kathy, is actually very intelligent too. So with Cal, he goes in business with Will and winds up like becoming very wealthy to get kind of his dad's money. And I think also to win his dad love, because he feels his dad loved Aaron more than him as well. And it could be because Adam might have had questions if these was really his kids too. It doesn't say that, but I mean, he said a couple times like Cal kind of reminded him of Charles, like with his mannerisms and everything. So now, then Aaron dies, and Cal is the one left that's still living in the end, and he's with Avra, Aaron's girlfriend, just like Charles has slept with Kathy, Adam's wife. It's so entangled. So some of the characters outside of the main ones that I gave you are the Hamilton family, and so Samuel Hamilton is a good man. He has, like, him and his wife has quite a few kids, and his kids, because he was a good man, they also struggle to be good as well, because the example that their father set forth for them, not even just their father, their mother was like a very religious person, and she was very staunch on what she believed, and she was also a good person as well. The Hamiltons actually helped deliver Cal and Aaron, and Samuel kind of forced Adam to name the kids, because after his wife shot him, he just like didn't name the kids, and Lee was taking care of them. But he had been warned by the Hamiltons of what kind of person that she might have been, and everybody was right. Nobody really trusted Kathy, but Adam couldn't see past his love for her, which a lot of times that happens. Sometimes we love people and they are terrible. There's a lot of red flags and we just ignore them because of love. So their kids struggled to be good. And so they had a young son who was not as smart as the other kids, and they kind of like favored him because they felt like he needed that extra attention and that boost. So Will is one of the characters they talk about a lot, and he's very successful. And it's amazing because Samuel had a lot of inventions and he never quite reached success, even though he was wise. But Will kind of took that from his father and became a very successful businessman in his own right. And he did advise Adam against his idea of shipping lettuce. But when you read this book, it goes into great detail about so many of the characters. I'm going to finish writing the rest of the stuff like off camera, but I wanted to kind of give you like a synopsis as well of the book. If you have time, read the book. If you don't have time, get an audio book just to kind of get through the first couple chapters because it moves slow. But the book is like so engaging. It's so amazing. Like once you actually get into it and read it. And if you want to start kind of with like a primer of what kind of work John Steinbeck does, then go ahead and just read Of Mice and Men first, because that's a really good book too. And I don't know if I actually said it yet or not, but James Dean, East of Eden is one of the only movies that James Dean never played in. And I want to watch that movie now. So I'm going to like find it and watch it after I've read this book. So, but I'm glad to be done with this book because this book is like 600 and something pages. So I kind of read most of it. I read like 60% of it and listened to like 40% of it through Audible. But it is a really amazing book, and I suggest if you like reading, read this book. If you love like character development, different kind of characters and stuff like that, definitely check this book out. All right, you guys, thank you for listening to my book review of this a very long book review. And I will see you in another video. Don't forget to thumbs up, to like the video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you in another video. Peace.